Hey folks, Deano here again. This time take a look at another X-Men 97 figure from Hasbro's Marvel Legends line. Yeah, this is Rogue, everyone's lovable Rogue. But yeah, for some reason Hasbro and Marvel have called him Marvel's Rogue. Is that something to do with copyright? I am really not sure, to be honest. But yeah, this is the next in the line, at least for me, to review. I am doing these in order, don't worry. So yeah, this one I was quite excited for, not because of that, don't be so crass, but because I've always thought Rogue was kind of a badass. She's from the south of America, isn't she? But south of United States of America, not South America. You know what I mean. Yeah, she is Gambit's love interest, and currently also Magneto's. Yeah, I'm sure that happened in the comics. I just cannot quite remember it. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason Rogue can fly and has superpowers and stuff is because when she was younger and evil, spoilers, Rogue was evil at the start. I don't believe she was evil at the start of the cartoon, but she was in the comics, and they did bring that up in the new show. Yeah, when she was younger, she absorbed a Captain Marvel. In the 90s, she was still called Miss Marvel. Not to be confused by Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel. Confusing. But yeah, she absorbed Carol Danvers' powers. She touched Carol Danvers for a bit too long, which transferred the powers to her permanently, which is why she can fly and has super strength and stuff in the show. So yeah, without further ado, let's get her off the turntable and take a look at her accessories and the box. So her box is pretty much the same as all the X-Men 97 figures. It's in this retro style card back, which you cannot get into the figure without completely destroying the package in some way. With Cyclops, I cut into the cardboard. With these ones, I've just decided to cut open the clamshell itself. Less destructive on the packaging. Unfortunate that you can't keep it mint or put it back in the box. Yeah, I really wish Hasbro would stop doing these. At least the X-Men 97 figures in these packets. I mean, I love how for a while Hasbro went the whole plastic-free packaging route, and all of a sudden they're deciding to make waste. Like, most collectors keep the boxes if they know they can put them back in, but most collectors with clamshells, they just throw them away. Like, I don't understand Hasbro at all sometimes. But we've got Marvel's Rogue there. Nice render of her from the new show. Compared to the original, Rogue's design has changed. Well, her skin tone has changed, which is a bit strange. She was always white. Let's just put it that way. But she always had a bit of a tan in the show. But now she's pale white, for lack of a better term. But yeah, still a really nice render. She looks really good in the show, even if she is lacking some curves, which the figure has somehow kept. But yeah, on the back we have everyone in Wave 1. Nice render of Rogue at the side there. The face actually looks a bit better than it does in person, unfortunately. And everyone else that you can get from Wave 1. As I'm recording this, Gambit and Rogue are still available on Hasbro Pulse. That's where I got these two from. Wolverine's completely sold out. He's astronomical prices on the aftermarket. Storm is still available in most places. Bishop's getting a bit harder to find. And Magneto, I think because everyone hates how scrawny that figure looks, they have just left him to rot on shelves. So yeah, just got some legalese and such. Nothing too out of the ordinary. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at Rogue and her accessories, shall we? So Rogue unfortunately doesn't come with a whole lot. In fact, she only comes with an extra pair of hands. She has one ungloved hand for when she absorbs people's powers, and she has another hand which is holding said glove, which is a nice touch. They are, well, I think this is reuse, but the hand is new. Older hands had a bit of a weirder shape to them, if I remember correctly. Just because I haven't collected these doesn't mean I wasn't watching reviews of them. I was still interested in the line, I just didn't want to buy figures that didn't quite look like the characters I remembered from my childhood. So yeah. The figure itself, the reason she's currently on a flight stand is because she's not very good at standing, unfortunately. So let's get her off of the stand, shall we? And get her into a standing pose. The feet are quite tight. Unfortunately, the way they've designed it, the cut at the thigh, the minute you move it, the actual outfit breaks sculpt, which is a bit annoying considering that her feet are pointing straight forward. So to get her into a sort of hero pose, you basically have to break the sculpt to do it, which is a bit annoying, really annoying actually. But yeah, as you can see, she struggles a fair bit to stand up straight, and I am not sure why. I think it might be because her feet are tiny in compared to the rest of the body. Like, I don't know why they did that. But yeah, let's get on to details, shall we? Before I start crying. So, her face does look good. It does look really good. She just looks a bit almost glass-eyed. Like, she's looking forward but not at anything, if that makes any sense. But the details are nice. It's the new digital printing tech that they used, so it does still look good. Her neck skin tone does not match her face. I am not sure why. I'm not sure why they did that. But yeah, the hair does look really good. That really captures the animated look, even if it does look like Play-Doh noodles. But that's how it looks in the show. But yeah, the face and the bandana are separate pieces, so they really pop. They look good. I do like that. But yeah, I think even the brown and the white are both separate pieces as well. So yeah, that really adds to the depth of the hair. The jacket, in the animated show, she wore a greenish, sometimes it looked kind of brown, like the comic, but in the show, it's primarily green. I have just realised her arms do not want to move properly. I do not want to break them. There we go. But yeah, all the rest of the details look good. Unlike previous releases of this figure, because this mould has been used before, the legs are now sculpted, which looks better and worse at the same time. They don't look as detailed, but they were free floating pieces before and they just got everywhere. So yeah, gloves look nice as well, and overall I like the colouring that they went with for her. It really matches. On the back, I'm not going to mention anything, just know that it's there. And she even has the red X on her arms. Fortunately that one is misprinted. The red is outside the circle. That side's a bit better though, which is a good thing. So yeah, in terms of articulation, she can look up, kind of. If you arc her head back, she can sort of fly that way. Bit disappointing that it doesn't go any further forward, or any further back, sorry. Considering it is on one of these neck joints. But yeah, that's... oh, there we go. It is going a bit. You could probably fix it eventually, but it's the jacket that's getting in the way. That's what it is. Bit unfortunate. But you can look down really far that way, even if the hair does look stupid when you do it. She has a bit of tilt and swivel. The head almost feels loose on the neck, but not to the point that it's flopping about, which is good enough. Arms can go up that far. Swivel. They can swivel, just be careful, that's quite a gummy feeling joint. I get the feeling that might get stuck and eventually rip. Just be careful. No bicep swivel. She has single joints at the elbow. This one being quite tight. There we go. So she gets about 90, just past 90. You could probably push it a bit more. Yeah. Swivel at the bicep in place of, well, swivel at the elbow, sorry, in place of the bicep. She has hinge and swivel at the wrists. These are free floating piece. Speak, Dean. She has a ball joint at the chest, which gets her far back for nice flying poses. Doesn't really go forward any though. She doesn't have waist articulation to speak of at all, but they're basically assuming that you use the chest for the waist joint. So yeah, legs can go up that far. Can't go back any. They can go back a little, but her booty is in the way. Thigh articulation, again, like I said, breaks the sculpt or the paint apps, so it looks a bit bad. She can go that far towards the splits. Double joint at the knees, gets decent enough range. No boot swivel to speak of, even though there is a cut there that they could have quite easily made into a joint, but yeah, that just adds to the issues with the legs on this figure. And standard Hasbro foot articulation, can go forward that much. It can go back, that's particularly tight. Go back that much. Oh, even further, there we go. And ankle pivot, which is really good. So yeah, all in all guys, it's a decent figure. If you're planning on just putting them into poses and on your shelf, then she will look just fine. Just make sure she is actually flying when you do. Because not only does it make her look cooler, it also means she's not going to fall over. Just swapping these out to show the extra hands. And yeah, that looks good. I do like that. Oh, she's actually standing. Nope, spoke too soon, did I? There we go. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this figure in the comments down below, and I'll see y'all later.